Everybody, here to talk about the walnut butcher block table that I just finished. I got a lot of likes on Facebook when I posted a picture of it, and I figured I would do a little tutorial on how I did the job. So it's really just talking about the finish, preparation, and application. This tabletop was bought from Lumber Liquidators. It's their Walnut model. It comes unfinished, it comes sanded, and you're left to do the finish work yourself. It's just raw wood. If you really wanted to, you could make it a food grade butcher block, service vessel. We wanted it for an island countertop. Unfortunately, I didn't make a video along the way, but it was just raw wood when I got it. And I have lined up here the really pretty simple process that I used to give it the results that you saw, and the picture I'll try and attach is the cover picture to the video. I'm really happy with it. It fits our home nice, and it's a nice addition. And I think it's pretty easily attainable without having to be some sort of master craftsman, because I'm certainly not that. I am not a professional woodworker or finisher by any means. I work on guitars and guitar finishes as a hobby, but that's about it. So this, before we go any further, the secret ingredient is Homer Formby's Tung Oil finish. If you do any research on the internet, you'll find that purists will tell you that it's not true tung oil. It is a finish. It's a varnish with tung oil in it. If you want to do 900 coats, literally, of tung oil to get this protection and this sheen, by all means. I'm a bit more of a pragmatist, and I wanted an island countertop that we could enjoy in our house. So we'll get to more of that in a minute, but tung oil is what I used on here. The tung oil really brings out the grain, the figuring, darkens up the pits, and makes some real contrast along the way. Even dings and nicks, it sort of darkens up and adds character to. And that's what we wanted on this table. We live in the woods in western North Carolina. Nothing wrong with a little honest wear on some wood. So, like I say, comes raw wood. I sanded to 800 grit. Probably overkill. Go to 600 if you want. Go to 800 if you want. Depending on how smooth and satin or gloss that you want. Instead of matte, you can go more. I do recommend use your block. Keep things level versus a pit of your hand making a deeper divot around another area, but do the whole thing. On your coarse sandpaper, go the direction of the grain, or in this case parallel to your butcher blocks. Don't make any deep gashes across it. Avoid that at all costs if you can. If you do that, break out the orbital sander and start it again. For the finish sanding, I don't like using the orbital sander. I tend to leave it, leaves these little circles that get brought out. All right, so sand to 800. Anywhere in here that I talk about using a towel, it's an old t-shirt. Cotton, old t-shirt, that's it. You sand it down to 600 or 800. You're happy. You don't feel any, anything stabbing your finger. Wipe the whole thing down. My apologies. Don't use the Formbys yet. My other secret weapon, naphtha. This stuff is lighter fluid. That's all it is. If you don't want to buy a gallon of it, or what is it? Yeah, this is a full gallon. I think I've had this 4 years now. buy a little Zippo lighter fluid refill. You've sanded, put the naphtha on your towel, and wipe the whole thing down. You'll see it, it'll darken your wood immediately, and then it'll start to evaporate. Naphtha is great because it cleans, it'll get all the dust off, it'll get the impurities out, and it'll evaporate right away. It will not soak into the wood, it won't wet the wood down whatsoever. Use your naphtha, it's great for finishes, doesn't harm them. You can use it to clean with. The fumes are awful though, I will tell you that, so make sure you get your ventilation. Clean it with naphtha. Take your tung oil finish, put it on your towel to start with. Hand rub it in. Start in a small area and work out from there. On that first set of coats, I like to use the towel because you don't want blotchiness. You pour it on there, it's going to soak in on that, and by the time you spread it out, you're going to get a shadow on there. Use your towel, rub it in. Do the whole thing. Get kind of a wet finish on it. Walk away for an hour. Let it absorb, let it dry. On the raw wood, it's going to soak in quickly, fast. Do it again. After about an hour, it's a little bit tacky. Get some more on there. Rub it in. Keep using your towel. Don't pour it straight on yet. Put it on there. I did 3 coats. You're trying to build up a little bit of you're trying to seal the wood, but not make it so that it you want to prevent it from absorbing when you put that nice thick protective layer on. So I did 3 coats that way. Let it dry a couple hours in between, or an hour or 2. Basically if you can put it on and rub it on, go for it, keep it going. Then, one thing I don't have on the table to show you is the little foam paintbrushes, dirt cheap. After that 3rd coat, then let it dry overnight. Then take it, pour it on, easy. You want a nice wet coat, but don't go crazy. And you want to brush out back and forth in the direction of the wood, back and forth, the direction of the wood. Brush out all the bubbles. Let that dry. A hard dry, 12 hours. Don't touch it. 12 hours. We're almost done, believe it or not. At that point, old school guys like to use steel wool. You got your triple aught, quadruple aught. They work. Use your triple first, then use your quadruple. Again, go in the direction of the grain with this stuff. I find these too abrasive. I also find that the little shavings get everywhere, and then you get them stuck in your finish. I don't like them. What I do recommend are these pads from 3M. Just like sandpaper, they have different levels of coarseness, and they're awesome for finishing. I've been using them on guitar finishes, nitrocellulose and poly. It's great. You got your green, really coarse. Sand the whole thing down. Don't go in circles, but try and go in kind of one direction. Next, you got your gray. A little bit finer. Go in the opposite direction. If you got this one going this way, and you got this one going this way, you'll know when you've gotten rid of those prior scratches. These are going to put scratches in there. Lightly, less scratches. Polish. Cool? A hint on these. On these first 2, you're not done with this until there's nothing shiny left on your table. You're going to make it gray and hazy. One way, parallel, the whole way. Perpendicular to the first one, the whole way. If there's anything shiny left, you're not done with this one. If there's any of these original first direction, you're not done with this one. If you could see any evidence of those with this one after, you're not done with it. At that point, I like to do another paintbrush. Nice wet coat. Now you're building it up. So then you can decide how much you want to polish it. This one is the low gloss. They make a high gloss one if you want it. Your choice. So you've repeated. Then you've let dry for 12 hours. Green, one direction. Gray, perpendicular. Polish. No evidence of these two when you're done with this one. Last but not least, these car products are awesome. I love them. I don't know if they're supposed to go on this kind of varnish or not. No idea. There's my disclaimer. No clue. But I use them on my guitars a lot. You got Mcguire's Scratch X 2.0. Mcguire's Cleaner Wax. Those of y'all that aren't car people, which I'm not, this is equivalent to a polish. If you have car polish, use that in place of this. This is equivalent to car wax. Polish takes out the little tiny, minute scratches, fills them in, buffs them out. So there's a little coarse, almost toothpaste composition to this. Polishes. This protects, gives you shine, gives you a little bit of wax protection on top. Use this first, follow the directions. One towel on, clean towel, throw it away. Clean towel, buff off, throw it away. Clean towel on, clean towel off, buff. Do it by hand, don't use the sander, don't use the orbital thing. You're gonna get some kind of scratch in there and you're gonna have to start over. That's it. The beauty is it is beautiful is the first thing, but the beauty of these butcher blocks and this Tung Oil varnish, if I were to scratch it or, toss a knife over here and you get a scratch, repeat that last step. I'm going to scuff it up. I'm going to hit it with this green. I'm going to do another thick, wet coat on there. I'm going to let it dry. 3 pads. Polish, wax. By the way, naphtha in between the coats before you apply another wet coat with the paintbrush. So that's if I just scratch the finish. Say I put a hot pot on here, not thinking, and I burn it. Break out the sander. Take it down till that burn is gone. Redo the whole thing. This lumber liquidator table, 1.5 inches thick. In my lifetime, I won't use all that up, even if I have to sand it down and start over. In the meantime, this is going to get years of use and character and hopefully nice family memories. So there you have it. The Lumber Liquidators Homer Formby's Tung Oil finish. Cheers. Good luck.